when you're advising startup companies or early stage companies, what we see is, at least on the law firm side, that it's important for them to have good, clear understandings in terms of their agreements with their partners. What we find is that they have to have an agreement that sets forth how decisions are going to be made. Everyone thinks about the upside. How do you share equity? How do you share profits? They don't think about some of the decisions when things get tough. So when cash gets tough, partners don't always see eye to eye. So you have to have agreements that are in place that resolve disputes and that allow for exits. And look, Offutt Kerman as a firm likes to operate like a business, and we try to practice what we preach. So what we tell our clients is that if you want to grow, you have to have a vision and a strategic plan. One of our advisors said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So if you want to grow and you have a plan, you need to have a plan. So we think that doing visioning exercises with the owner managers and the corporate leaders, and then working with a strategic plan to develop one, is central to managing growth, managing expectations, and then you have to do the hard part. That's not the hard part. The hard part is having people committed to implementing what the plan is and following through with it. What we found with our clients, that traditionally social media has been an important part of marketing strategy for only certain segments of the marketplace. But what we find now is that we're telling our clients that there aren't any businesses that can ignore it now. I mean, even our own, a law firm, which is traditionally not the type of industry where you would expect social media to be an important aspect of the marketing or the growth plan. But it is. I mean, whether you're talking about LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, or even things like Salesforce from a marketing perspective, we find that if you're not, we liken it to a website in 1995. If you didn't have one in 1995, it wasn't terribly unusual. In 2005, if you don't have one, you're not a real company. And we look at social media the same way. What we found is that you need to align the compensation with what you want your sales force to achieve. So there's a big difference between growing revenue and growing profit. And so from a compensation philosophy, what we tell our people is, how are you compensating your sales force or your key, whether it's the sales force or the sales managers or whoever it is that it's important, in addition to what Mike said earlier about communicating the vision, it's aligning the compensation structure with the behavior that you want. Because if you're just trying to grow, and there may be a good reason where that's your bottom line, you're not going to worry as much about profitable growth as you are growth. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to grab market share for some reason, because profits will come later maybe. On the other hand, you may need to drive profits. And so that's a different type of sale, and I think the compensation philosophies are important, and a lot of people, a lot of organizations don't look at it that way. They just say, I'm going to pay you X.